I know many of you in the room may recall Tomorrow's World, and in case you're not aware, next Thursday, as a one-off, it's coming back for an hour and a half live. I don't know whose idea it was to have the show as an hour and a half, because this gives far more than 3 times more likelihood of things going badly wrong. But if you've got any ideas that you want to have on that show, my email address will be coming up later on. Something you may not be aware of is that for the last 10 years I've led an organisation called TeenTech, and I started this because I became very aware that there was very little visibility of the kind of work that everyone in this room is doing, and most importantly that many young people were excluding themselves because they thought, oh, it's not really for me, or girls really don't do that kind of thing, or I'm not clever enough, and I wanted to put a stop to that. I realised quite quickly this was going to be quite complicated, because you can't just run a one-off event and expect young people to be miraculously endowed with more confidence and go off and become engineers or expert programmers. And what they needed was to understand the opportunities, to really believe that not only that they could do something, but they might actually want to do it, to see clear pathways, and the pathways, as we know, we live in a very fast changing society, and the pathways to careers are also changing very quickly, and they needed to understand what those different routes might be, and to understand that sometimes you have to be quite flexible. You don't just always go straight from A to B. And I guess who can honestly put their hands up, and do put your hands up if this is the case, that when you were, say, 12 or 13, you knew that you would be doing what you are today? Is there anyone? And do put your hands up if there is. Yeah, which is just the point. We sort of zigzag through our careers. I certainly did. So over the last 10 years, we set up a number of programs. TeenTech City of Tomorrow is for younger students, primary school students in the first year of secondary, and they envisage the kind of society they might like to live in, and they take the first steps towards designing and building what that society might actually look like, with, as the title might suggest, particular reference to the connected city. The Create Your Future events take place in schools with a focus on areas of social deprivation. Then we have large-scale events, which might be festivals with up to sort of 500 or 1,000 students attending. Really focused activities, though. It's not a kind of free-for-all where everyone, runs around grabbing freebies. There's an opportunity to really get hands-on with tech. There might be events which are hosted on company sites. So, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, we had one with some sixth formers and college students at the BBC, because the BBC wants young people to see that you can enter into that organisation via apprenticeships. And then we have an award scheme for students where they work on their own ideas, some of which might be quite out there, some of which are absolutely focused on making the world a better place, some of which are very commercial. But they do that with help and support from people like yourselves. As you can imagine, we do measure everything, so we know that when young people come to one of our activities, there is a definite shift, particularly amongst girls, around, the area of engineering and technology and their feelings and warmth towards working in it. We make sure that they have a chance to experience areas of tech that they may not have sort of seen, and the companies who work with us are very keen to sort of demonstrate whether it might be the very latest in robotics or assistive technology, or it may be sort of some very sort of it might be a startup company, or, because we want young people to see that it's not just about working with massive organisations, that this is an area where they can develop their own ideas. And they're certainly not short of them. People are often astounded when they come to our events. We simply say, okay, if you've got an idea for how you think you might make life better, stick it up on the ideas wall, and that is their first step. and as I say, we encourage them to take it further. The TeenTech City of Tomorrow programme we're running this year with over 6,500 young people. It's had an extraordinary response from schools. And the award scheme, where the ask is simply that they make life better, simpler, safer, or more fun using science and tech, has produced some amazing ideas. And it's, you know, what we want to do is not just about helping the individual student, but with the teachers and the rest of those school communities, deeply understanding how those young people can be part of this world and the kind of skills they might need. We've seen some impact that we couldn't possibly have imagined. So as I say, there are schools where they see a really strong difference in the uptake of certain subjects because young people can see the point of taking them. Young people who may have lacked any confidence in themselves do well, because from the get-go, if schools sign up to the award scheme or City of Tomorrow, we connect them with mentors from industry who can be remote. It's not just about going into the schools. You can help via email or via Skype. And we know that this makes a massive difference. And that young girl who I just showed, who had narcolepsy and cataplexy, this year she is heading to America because she was given a scholarship as a Young Engineer of the Year. And the whole idea, as you imagine, is to give young people and schools who may not have a network, a strong network for the future. And it's not just the kids and the teachers who benefit. We know that the mentors, whether they come from colleges or universities or companies, really deeply enjoy the whole process. The learning is very much on both sides. I've mentioned that we've been doing this for 10 years, and obviously this has enabled us to build up a picture, not only of immediate impact, but longer term impact. And I'm delighted to welcome Grace to the stage. Grace first came to a TeenTech event, and we were trying to work how old you were. We think you were probably about 12. Is that right?
11 or 12.
11 or 12, okay. So just tell us what you feel that you've learned through TeenTech.
So as Maggie mentioned, I think I went to my first TeenTech event back in 2010, I want to say, which is quite a long time ago now. And something Maggie's always said to me is TeenTech's not for Christmas, it's for life. And I think that's something that's definitely stayed true to me. So as I say, I went to my first TeenTech event back in around 2010 in Ascot. And I think it was the second year maybe you'd run it, or the third year. So it was all quite new still. And I went to it. I had no idea what I wanted to be really, but I knew that I definitely didn't want to do anything techie because that was quite boring, quite nerdy. I didn't really have the perception that it could be fun or cool. And I'd say from that alone, it changed my whole perspective. After TeenTech, I got involved a lot with computer science and things like that at my school. I helped build the school website. I went to some other events our school did and did some really cool things. And then I was lucky enough to be chosen to be part of the Young Digital Task Force with Maggie in 2014, I want to say, where we helped to sort of advise her as she produced a government report for digital skills for tomorrow's world. So I did that, which was amazing. I got to build my network, build my confidence, meet so many different people. We went into different companies and learned about their perspectives on the technology, on what digital skills they saw were coming through, and then also talked to students at our own school and saw what they saw was important, and what they saw also what put them off maybe going into computer science, that sort of thing, so we could see how we could change that. As well as that, I've also been involved with almost every TeenTech event I think Maggie's done. I helped with the pilot of TeenTech City. I've been to every TeenTech Awards bar last year's, I want to say, as a helper, and done so many different things.
Yeah, that's your picture of you with James May there,
yeah,
isn't it?
So these are some of the different things I've done with TeenTech. I'm now 20 years old and I'm working at IBM as a junior management consultant apprentice. I specialise in cognitive solutions, which was an area that wasn't even a thing, I don't think, when I was 12 years old. And all of that's thanks to going to TeenTech, building my skills, learning about this whole area that before I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But now it's just amazing.
Brilliant. Okay, well, if you just take a perch on a stool, I'm going to bring another group of students up. They participated in the TeenTech Awards in 2017 and 2018. They, as you can see, had a great mentor. They had a fabulous project, and they're going to tell you a little bit about it now. So welcome to Lena, Charles, and Bruno.
Hello, my name is Lena, this is Bruno, this is Charles, and we are Alphabs. We are very excited to present to you what we believe the world's first augmented reality video game and comic book. Our idea involves using a comic book we created along with a smartphone app. Whilst reading our comic book, you can use our smartphone app to hover over any page of the comic book, and it will automatically generate a video game where all elements and characters appear in your own environment.
So, as you can see here, we have our comic book. And the name of our first comic book is The Adventurous Life of Big T. And Big T is the main character. And he built a robot, which we called him Big T. So, let me start. The name of our first comic book is The Adventurous Life of Big T. Big T is a robot created by a boy called Todd. And Todd created Big T because he wanted a friend to play with, but also someone to watch his back. Big T is eventually broken down by some bullies and gets thrown in the bin as he can no longer work. This is when the devil character is introduced, and the devil character rebuilds Big T under his own evil agendas. I used the graphics tablet to create the graphics.
Within the games themselves, we have created an interface for Big T. This is because most of the games are through Big T's own vision, so they will be from first person. As you progress through the games, more buttons will be available as Big T learns new skills. So, as mentioned before, you can activate any of the games in the comic book simply by using our app and scanning the comic book pages with an AR sticker. What we thought was very important was that each page was related to the each comic book page was related to the game, so that as you progress through the story, you kind of get to use the games in order to learn more about the characters and get a bigger understanding about the story itself. The software used to make these games was Unity with the Vuforia plugin.
You'll be able to download our app from the Google Play and the App Store. You'll be able to get our comic from our websites and other places that Lena will talk about later. You will use the strategy used by the video game Fortnite, where the initial product is free, but you'll be able to buy additional downloadable content on what we choose to create.
We believe that our product stands amongst the market because no one else can do what we can do. There is some competition out there, such as Madefire and Masters of the Sun. Madefire is a digital comic book, and it offers images and videos for the user to watch. And it's kind of related to the comic book. And Madefire was, and Masters of the Sun was an AR comic book made in order to create a kind of AR experience with images and videos for the users to kind of interact with the comic book. But what we do is we actually get these games, and we work with companies in order to make these games, in order to get a better interactivity between the comic book itself and the user. So it's a bit more interesting in general.
We have also considered how we are going to market this unique product. With the help of TeenTech, we managed to be in contact with the CTO of Disney Animations, Nick Cannon, who gave us advice on how we can market this unique product. We have found out from Nick that when you have an augmented reality, which Nick suggested is going to be the future of entertainment, it's going to help us get the attention of the media. We are also planning to go to busy shopping centers and busy train stations to give out the comic book for free, as well as let them try out.
So we came up with this idea and made it into a product. Now we believe we can make this product into a business. We know this because of the research we've conducted within our own schools. With year 7s, 8s, and 9s, we were able to find that they said they would definitely buy it. We got 100% approval rate from them because it was educational and it was fun.
Working with TeenTech, it managed to make me realize what I'm capable of doing, not only as an individual, but also as a team member. I've learned how to communicate as a team, but also as a friend with them. And with the help of TeenTech, I was able to manage a Gold Quest Award, but also with the help of my teacher, Mr. Mohammed, he gave up his time every day after school to help us improve on this unique product.
So before I go into TeenTech, I didn't know much about AR and how to actually make these games. So with the help of Mr. Mohammed and our mentors from TeenTech, I was actually able to get a better understanding of the tech business and how I can improve my own skills within software development. So when I grow up, I can actually get into the business easily and get more contacts. So I think being able to work with TeenTech has allowed me to get a better understanding and get more contacts within the tech business. So it will be very helpful for me when I grow up.
One of the reasons why we came here is to actually make this a real thing and put this out in real retail stores. We are looking for any fundings, so if you're willing to help us, please find us after we come off stage.
Excellent. Brilliant. Well done. Well done.